Hello, guys. Thanks for joining in. We'll just wait for 30 more seconds. I can see people are joining, so let's just wait for 30 seconds and then we can start off with the session. Okay, I think we can start now. People are joining, and that is fine. We can start off with the session. Okay, so I warmly welcome you all. Thanks for joining the webinar. I warmly welcome you to today's session of new releases. So we have upgraded ourselves like we always do after every quarter. So this time we have something special, that is Azure Map. A lot of people were asking about it. A lot of our clients were also asking about Azure Map. So we have it. And then there's Canvas app, there's smarter territories, and a lot more features that I'm going to showcase today. Okay, so thank you so much for joining, guys. I am Ranjana Verma, and I am the business manager for Maplytics at iNogic. Right. So without any further ado, let's just get started. And let me explain the webinar logistics first, right? So throughout the session, all the lines would be muted. Okay, in case if you have any questions or queries, you can just simply type it on the chat box on the chat window. And at the end of the webinar, we'll have a Q&A session. So I will be answering those for you, okay, one by one. So that is there. And now before we start off with the entire session, let me just give you an overview of, what iNogic is, right? So iNogic is one of the leading ISVs. Okay, we are in the industry for over, 1.5 decades now, like more than 15 years now, right? And these are few of our products that you can see over here, right? So there is a click to clone, there's productivity apps, there's geospatial apps, there's file management. So any productivity that you think of, we have a solution for it, right? And we are constantly upgrading ourselves, like I said, not only for Maplytics as a tool, but also in our basket. So the new one is this Omni channel wherein you have WhatsApp for Dynamics, text SMS, live chat. Okay. So basically an integration between your third party tool and then the Dynamics. And with data quality, we have a latest edition of deduped wherein you can eliminate your duplicate data. So on and so forth. These are few of our tools. Again, if any one of them resonates with you, or if you want to know more about it, we'll be happy to connect and help you out. Apart from this, iNogic also does offshore development. Okay, so in case you want to customize your CRM or you want to add anything new, or have personalized CRM. So we help you out with that as well, right? Having said that, let's just set the agenda for today. Okay, so we'll just understand what is Maplytics, how it has impacted our people, right? And then the features that we are here for. So I would be taking you through all the features that we have upgraded to, and I will show you the live demonstration of the same, right? Followed with the Q&A session. Yeah. So let's just get started. So here is the progress report of Maplytics. So as you can see, Maplytics started in 2011, right? It is somewhere around 15 years back, right? So we started as a mere store locator, right? Because a lot of users or a lot of our clients were asking for it. But gradually, thanks to our uh, clientele, for giving such valuable feedbacks or asking for such valuable features. So over the period of time, we have added a lot more feature, right? So in terms of mapping, in terms of analysis, visualization, management, okay. So you name a feature, and I am sure, I'm pretty confident that we would have it, right? So auto scheduling, territory management, if you want to talk about real-time tracking, multi-layer, GIS support, anything and everything, Power Pages, right? So anything and everything that you're asking for would be here. And if it is not here, be rest assured, in the next quarter it would be. So we are constantly upgrading ourselves depending on, or, from the feedback of our clients. As the industry progresses, we do it, right? So yeah. And why are we doing it? So let's just understand the scope or the reason why Maplytics is, one of the popular tool and how it is helping the clients. So in simple words, if I have to say, it simply increases the productivity. Okay. So when I say increases the productivity, it is not only in terms of field service, like a person is going on the field, they can definitely go ahead, have the visualization, create their own routes at once, and then hit the ground with a proper turn by turn direction, or you can say a proper well defined directions. Okay, so that you don't have to do back and forth again and again. So it is optimized, not only the direction part or not only the field service part, but also the visualization or analysis is a core part of Maplytics. Okay, so when you get a map view, what happens is things become much more clear, right? In the read only grid, you only able to see the names of your accounts and their respective revenues or so on and so forth, right? In the views. But when you take a map, you understand where exactly physically the account or your prospects are located, right? Which patch generates more revenue for you, which patch doesn't generate revenue for you, where exactly the customer requests are coming more from, right? Where exactly the services are coming more from. So with this data, you will be able to target your audience in a much more better way, right? If you see a patch wherein there is no activity at all, you can ask your marketing team to have messaging in a different sense, right? Whereas when you are targeting your core audience, where the region where exactly you're getting more value from, the marketing or messaging would be very different, right? So when you have all this data on the map, things become much more simpler for you, right? And keeping that in mind, let's just go ahead and understand what I'm going to showcase today, right? So the first part is Maplytics list control. So it is nothing but we have introduced Azure Map with us. Okay. So a lot of people were asking, a lot of our clients were asking that do we have Azure Map? So the wait is over. We do have it, and it is very beautiful. I would be taking you through that, right? So Azure Map is there. Then we have auto scheduling, how to schedule your routes, how to plan for multiple days, like month together, okay, or weeks together. So how to do that is auto scheduling. Then there is territory management. So not only creating and managing territory, but also visualizing it in a much smarter way. Okay. So again, I will be taking you through all these features in the live session. There is route optimization, there's analytical dashboard, Canvas app. So a lot more in this, right? So without any further ado, let me just go and start with the live demonstration over here. Let me just select the CRM. So I hope you guys are able to see my screen. Great. Uh, I believe you are able to see my screen. So as you can see, I am in the demo instance of my CRM. Here are all my entities. Okay. So Maplytics works with custom as well as out of box entities. Okay, so let's say instead of accounts, if you have your customers, that is your separate entity, it is going to work the same. Okay, and again, Maplytics is not a separate app. It works with all your model driven apps. So be it your personal apps that you create or a sales hub or field service or marketing, it works with anything and everything that is a part of CRM, right? So as you can see, this is the data. This is, I'm in the accounts entity. This is the data that this particular view holds, right? And this is where you find Maplytics on top in the ribbon bar, right? Now, like I said, the first introduction to Azure. Okay, so now we have added Azure Map Control to Maplytics. What I mean to say is, as soon as I click on this Show As button and I select this Maplytics list control, that is a Azure control, all the data that you are able to see in the form of rows and columns will be here present in the form of push pins, right? So you can see that this is the map and this is the push pins that you are able to see, right? Now, if I hover over any of these data, I am able to see certain information at a glance, like the city, industry, annual revenue, so on and so forth. So if you want to add based on your business scenarios, if you want to add anything extra, you can definitely go ahead and add those details. And if you want to dig deeper into this account, okay, so this information is not suffice for you, you want to dig deeper into it, you can just simply click on it and you'll have much more details. Okay, so you can have as many lines as possible here, you can add them and we will be able to display it, right? So there's industry, annual revenue, zip, lat long, so on and so forth. And if you see on the top, there are certain quick action buttons. Now, this is very important for us because we wanted the user to be on the same window and do all the thing that is possible to be done, right? So if, let's say, this is the account and the person says that I want to have appointment maybe for after 2 weeks, so I can just simply click on this and the appointment form would appear wherein I can create my appointment, right? And yes, this is the quick appointment form. I can simply go ahead, write the subject, select the time and date, and click on save over here, and that's it, right? The appointment has been created. So as simple as that. And again, I am back to this grid over here that I was in, right? So here, this quick action buttons become a lot more handy when it comes to operations. We have appointments, we have tasks, we have phone calls. If you have any custom activity, you can add it over here also. Okay, any actions that you want to perform, you can simply add it over here, right? Now, this was all about the look, you know, the look and feel of this control. Now, let me take you to the filtration process, like how to filter the data, right? So in order to filter the data, there are multiple ways. There is the first one is by proximity search, or you can say radius search. Okay, so let's say tomorrow I am going to visit this particular patch, right? So what I can do is I can simply right click on it and set it as my current location. Okay, if you don't want to do this, you can simply type it over here, or if you are on your phone on the ground, instead of doing all this, simply just click on this and your GPS would be taken. Okay, so your current location would be taken, and based on that, you can decide what radius you want to search for, right? So let's say I want to see all the accounts that are present within half a mile to 1 mile radius. Okay, what I can do is I can just simply click on search, and as you can see, there are two concentric circles, half a mile and 1 mile, and all the records that are within this concentric circles are visible to me, right? So this is the radius search that we are seeing, and here are the layers. Okay. So if you don't want, like, this is a very short circle or short radius, what I can do is I can just simply delete it and I'll be back on on the first screen, right? So the first option that we had was proximity search. The second option that we have is by region. Okay. So by region is nothing but you don't want to have concentric circles or diameter. Let's say you are a salesperson and you are responsible for a particular region. It could be a city, it could be a state, county, postal code, any part of your address. Okay. For now, I'm taking postal codes. And these are the four postal codes that I'm responsible for. Okay. So I'm selecting these four postal codes and I click on search. Okay. So what would happen is you see these four postal codes have been plotted along with their boundaries, and only the records that are present in this are visible to me. Okay. So here you can see four of my postal codes and the records within it. Now you might say that, these are so many. So how do I categorize them, right? So we also have this option of category. Okay. So here I can select how do I want to categorize my data. Right now I'm selecting industry, but you can select annual revenue, or you can select last visited date if you have that, field in your accounts form. Or if you guys work around, golden or tier one accounts, tier two accounts, tier three accounts, so you can filter based on that, right? So I have clicked on industry and these are all the industries that I have. This acts as a filter for me. So here there is accounting, there's banking, there's consulting. So I can check and uncheck depending on how I want to, proceed, right? So this is called filtration. Yeah. So categorization, right? So we saw a radius search, we saw by region. The last one that we are going to see is by drawing. So by drawing is nothing but what happens is sometimes, you want to go to a place, or you want to map a particular piece of land. Now that is not a circle, or you cannot define in radius also, and you cannot define it based on region also. It's a mixture of all the things. So what you can do is you can simply draw it like this, right? So you simply take this tool over here and have a drawing against it. Now my drawing is not very good, but yeah, I've tried my best. So as soon as I click on search, you will be able to see that only the drawing that I've done, only that region has been plotted. And again, the categorization was still there. So I am able to see the categorization of industry, right? So in case you don't want to have freehand drawing, we have polygons, circles, rectangles. If you want to edit it, if you want to erase it, all these features are present right over here. Yeah. So this is the filtering option, right? Now, you might say that I have the filters and I have all of these things, but I want my grid back, right? The grid that we saw in the first place. So the list is always over here. Okay. So here is all your list of all the accounts. You can search it by keywords. Okay. Or you can just simply, if you want to dig deeper into any of your accounts, just simply click on this arrow button and you'll be able to see the information from here also. Okay. So the thing that you were able to see in the tooltip card, the same things you will be able to see here as well. And the action buttons are the same. Okay. And now if let's say these three accounts are the ones that I want to target. Okay. You can select it from the map also, or you can select it from here. It works the same. So if you select from map, it is going to bind itself from this grid. So I'm selecting these three options, and then I can perform mass actions on them. Okay. So I can either add them to the route, okay, and create a route for me that I'm going to visit tomorrow. Or maybe I can save this data as a personal view or as a marketing list, because I have bifurcated this based on industry. Maybe I, create a segment of industry that says accounting and banking, and a separate messaging should go to them. So you create your marketing list from here itself, right? Similarly, there is create activities. So in case if you want to create mass activities, it could be appointments, phone calls, task. Since I'm going to visit tomorrow to them, maybe I can create a phone call task for my junior so that he can call them up and set up my meetings, right? So you can simply create mass activities from here. And the last option is to export to Excel, right? And here, if you don't want to search on the grid, you want to search on the map here itself. So you can simply type in any pushpin's name. Let me check if I have any. So let me take this one, Jeffrey. Right? So this is the one. If I click on it, the pushpin is going to highlight itself, right? So if you want to search anything on the map, you can search it from this bar. If you want to search anything on the grid, you can use this search option, and then you can go ahead with it, right? So the main purpose of creating this PCF control of Azure map is to make you guys, stay in one particular view and not to juggle between multiple of them, right? So from one view, you can do anything and everything that you want to do. Yeah. So this was all about, the Azure map that we have. Now, so far, what we have seen is I am able to visualize all the data that is present within my CRM, right? So which is present within my CRM. This was the read-only thing, and I just plotted on the map, right? But some of our users, or some may say that I have an Excel file and I have addresses in them. I just want them to plot it on the map just to visualize where exactly they are located, and then perform certain actions on them, right? So you want to basically plot an external data on the map and just see their locations and have an analysis of the same. So for that, we have upgraded ourselves and have added this feature. And to do that feature, we will go to the detail map control instead of the PCF one. Okay. So detail map control is nothing but a much larger view of Maplytics wherein much more actions can be performed, right? So here there is plot record, and to have the external file, what you have to do is you have to select the data source. Now, these are all the entities of your CRM. You can select the data source from here. But because we are having an external file, I'll go all the way down. There's this file option, and then you select the file. Okay. It could be a CSV, it could be an Excel. Okay. So you're depending on the thing, you can just simply select it, right? So you select it over here, and then there are certain mappings that you need to do, okay, just to understand the things, right? So what do you want to display? How do you want to display them? So I want the account names for the identification. So that is one. Then we have tooltip card. So remember, there was quick action buttons and certain data that you want to have at a click. So you can select that. So for now, I'm selecting name, industry, maybe, and then revenue also. Okay, so I'm selecting these three things, and these are nothing but your your CSV's columns basically. So the number of columns that you have, the titles will be present over here, right? In the hover attribute, I want the name, and then I only want the industry, right? So I'll just select this, and maybe main phone number if in case I need it, right? So these are the things that you want to see when the data is plotted. Now this is the section wherein the Maplytics understands where the address is coming from. So you might want to map it up, like the street one address to the street one, street two to the street three, so on and so forth. Okay, and don't worry if you guys don't have lat long. Okay, if you have the correct addresses, we will fetch the lat long, so you don't have to worry about that also. Okay, but if you have lat long, that is well and good. Simply just map it out. So I have mapped it, and I click on proceed, right? So as soon as I proceed, you see that all the data that was in my Excel sheet, that is this 109 data, all of them are plotted on the map, right? So if I hover over them, I am able to see the information that I have selected. So remember, I selected industry and phone number. And if I click on it, a tooltip card will appear with their address and industry and revenue. Again, this is something that I selected, right? So if this is the one and I want to create a lead against it, I can simply click on this action of create the record. You can select the entity, which one you want to create. So is it an account? Is it a lead? Is it a contact? You select the respective record, and then you click on create, and the lead would be created. Okay. And in case if you want to create records for the entire CSV, so you cannot go about each one of them. So here there is an option of create new records, wherein in bulk all these records would be created for you in the CRM, right? So this is how easy it is. So in with Maplytics, you are not only able to visualize the internal data that is stored in your dataverse, but also the external data that you can plot with your file. Okay, so coming to this part, let's go for the next feature that we have. Now we have seen plotting and visualizing. Now let me take you to something exciting, that is dashboard. Okay, so dashboards are very dynamic in nature. So if I have to show you, this is one of the dashboard that I have created as a sales manager. Okay, so as a sales manager, I want to have first thing, that is I want to see my entire team's appointment. Where are they going today? Okay, or how many appointments do they have? Or in what region they are going to go. So, right, so I have one thing, that is my appointments, my team's appointment over here, right? And if I hover over that, I am able to see the owners as well, right? And the schedule and everything. Similarly, on the second one, this is a heat map. Okay, so this is a heat map of the accounts that I hold in my territory. So I am responsible for this entire state and island, and I see that, some part there are patches that are darker. That means I have high concentration of accounts there, whereas some patch there is very light. Okay, so accordingly I can ask my sales rep to have more visit over here so that we can increase the business and we can make it a darker patch. And I can ask my customer service people to focus more on these regions because these are the ones who are generating revenue for me, right? So when you remember, I said that whenever you have a visualization of map, you the analysis becomes much more easier, and the decision making process becomes much more easier, right? Similarly, if I scroll down, I have certain, if you guys work around cases, we also can create cases dashboard, right? So with respect to each of the regions, with respect to each of the users or my people like Joe Smith and William, these are the two people who are handling this region. I can see how many cases are opened, how many cases are closed against them, what is the postal code. Sorry, this is bifurcated based on postal codes. So on and so forth. And it's not that you have to use only these four of them, right? You can create your dynamic dashboards and it is going to reflect. Okay, so you can create n number of dashboard. This works on fetch xml. Okay, so you can have your own filtrations and own dynamic dashboards for your analysis, right? So done with the dashboard thing. So now taking the discussion ahead, we will go for scheduling part. Okay. So we have visualized, we have analyzed. Now let's go for scheduling, which is, a lot of people must be waiting for it. Again, one of my favorite feature. So this time, instead of showcasing the normal route, we definitely with Maplytics can create one day route, right? You can create your one day route and navigate around. What I'm going to showcase today is not one day route, but auto scheduling that is creating routes for multiple people for multiple days together. Okay. So for that, again, we have to go on the detail map control rather than the PCF one. So here, this is the detail map, the bigger version of Maplytics. Now here in the data sources, you can schedule for anything and everything. You can schedule for accounts, you can schedule for leads, you can schedule for opportunities, but I'm scheduling it for work orders. Okay. Because I want to show you this works not only with Sales Hub, but also with field service. Okay. And in field service, we have something called as work orders. Okay. So let me just select my work orders and click on search. So these are all my work orders, or that are responsible for my people, like my region. Okay. And now I want to schedule these work orders. Now, if you know about field service, what happens is in each of these work orders, there's characteristics. Okay. So let's say if I am a repair shop, okay, I am a electronic repair shop. I am the owner of the same. So what I'll do is for every repairing of every appliance, there is a respective resource who is specialized in that. Okay. So only that person can do it. And again, the timing of each work order is very different. Some work orders take 120 minutes. Okay, some would take only 10 to 15 minutes because it's a very short job, right? So these all things should be honored when you're creating a particular schedule, right? Your resources should be right, otherwise the work order won't be delivered. And then the timing should also be there so that it doesn't clash with the overlapping, booking, right? So what I'll do is these are all my work orders. Let me just schedule them properly. Okay, so in the mass action, what you do is you scroll all the way down. There is this auto scheduling. Click on confirm and the scheduling board will appear. Okay, so this is the scheduling board. Here you select when do you want to start from, the commencement date. So I'm selecting 17 for now. And here, because I am working around sales, sorry, field service, I'm selecting resources. But if you're working around, you can say Sales Hub, you will have your respective users. Okay. So I'm selecting for Anne and Timothy. These are the two resources I'm creating a schedule for. and I want them to complete the entire thing within, let's say 3 days. Okay. Or let's say, let me take 4 days for safer side, right? So I want them to complete the entire thing within 4 days. It is not a big thing. So 4 days should suffice for all the work orders. And then the duration of each of these work orders. So I'm taking it as 45 minutes. Their start time, their end time, their break duration, their the buffer time. This is kind of a safety net, so the buffer time, and your working days. Okay, so in case if you guys don't work on Wednesdays, that is, you have your team meeting, so you can simply uncheck it, and none of your schedules will happen for Wednesday, right? And similarly, on the advanced preference side, you can cap your meetings. Okay, so let's say your salespeople, my scheduling can, schedule 20, 30 meetings also. If you keep it for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, the scheduler can do it. But then the people would be exhausted on the ground, right? So you don't want that. You want them to have a productive, meetings. So in that case, you can cap your meetings also. Let's say I want only 3 meetings per day, not more than that. The effective 3 meetings or 7 meetings, okay, whatever it is. If you want to cap, you can cap it, right? And here there are meeting details. So these are all the work orders that I have. And I was talking about the duration, right? So I see that the AC repair and the washing. So there are AC, cooler, washing machine, refrigerator. Four of them cannot be done within 45 minutes, right? So the incident time is somewhere around 120 minutes. Yeah. So what will happen is it is going to take 120 minutes. So if there is a duration present, it is going to honor this duration. Okay. In case it is blank, it is going to create it for 45 minutes. Okay. So let me cross this up and go ahead and click on proceed. Okay. So what this is doing is this is creating route and schedules for both of my users based on their skills, based on the characteristics, and it is going to take few seconds to process. Okay, so I believe the process is ready. Okay, this is 12 a.m. Nobody starts their day so in the midnight. So this is 9 a.m. Let me just do it for week rather than day. So you see, for Timothy, there's only one because this is, a long job. So we have kept only one. Then there is again one long job over here. And then these are the three short jobs that he is going to do. And for Anne as well, here, if I scroll down, these are the, meetings that she would be attending, or these are the work orders that she would be attending to, right? And here there is turn by turn directions. Okay, so in order to reach the place, you have, you start your day over here, the first location, that is your home or your office, and then there is this drive time of 4 minutes, and then you start here with your first work order, so on and so forth. There is driving directions for you. Okay, so when I click on create, what would happen is it is not only going to create the appointments or bookings, but it is also going to create this route for me. And these routes are by default optimized. Okay, so this is optimized based on shortest distance so that you reach on time. So here you can select your activities. Now because I'm scheduling work orders, I am creating bookings basically. So I'm selecting bookable resource booking. You can name it. So I am naming it as visits for March. Okay. The time is pre-taken over here, so 17th till 19th. You can have the booking statuses. So I'm keeping it as scheduled. You have your respective statuses. You can change it, whatever you're using, the booking type. And there is this little button that says create route. Okay. So when you click on this, the route would also be created. So if I click on this create button in the backend, what would happen is these bookable resource would be this bookings would also be created and this route would also be created. And if you guys work around field service, you know that we have this beautiful thing that is schedule board. Okay, so anything, these particular bookings will be seen on your schedule board also. And if you have linked your Outlook to your CRM, you will be able to see these appointments in your Outlook as well. Okay. So in case if you have any questions, please type it in the chat box and I'll be able to answer them once we are done with the entire thing, right? So I'm just reminding you guys that at any point of time, if you have any questions, please feel free to simply add it on the chat, right? Now, what I've done so far is I have created my schedule. Now, how do I navigate around it, right? I don't take my MacBook or I don't take my laptop everywhere I go. So I use only my phone when I'm on the road, right? So for that, what I'll do is let me share my, stop sharing my screen and let me start with the mobile thing. Let me attach my mobile and I will be able to show you how to navigate on on your mobile. So while I'm connecting my mobile again, just feel free to take the time and type in your questions that I can answer after this session. So let me share my screen. Okay, so you guys are able to see yourselves, your names, basically, right? So I think the screen is visible. Okay. Right. So now what I'm doing is I am going on my Power Apps. Okay. So like I said, Maplytics is works within your dynamic CRM. So you don't have to have any external app for this. It is just within here. And I am in my, a sales hub over here. And I see I am welcomed with dashboard, right? So we earlier saw a sales manager's dashboard. This is another dashboard that is created specifically for me as a sales rep. Okay. So here the first dashboard indicates my appointments for the entire day. Okay. And if I scroll down, uh, the next dashboard indicates my route for today, right? So this is one of the route that I've created for myself. That is demo 12th March. If I click on this three dots over here, it is going to give me an option to plot the route. Okay, so you see this option of plot route. You select this, and the exact same route will be plotted on the map that that we have created on the desktop. Okay, right? So I hope the yes. So this is the same route. I hope it is all visible and there's no lag. So yeah, here and this is the driving directions. Okay. So here you see all the waypoints have been added. If I scroll down, there's driving directions also. So the total ETA, that is, the total time taken from point A to D is 44 minutes. And I am covering somewhere around 10 miles. Okay. And if I scroll down, there's A to B, B to C, turn by turn directions that I am able to see. Right. Now I understand you will not read turn left, turn right, and so on and so forth. So we have this navigation button, right? This sweet arrow that you see. When you click on it, it is going to give you links. Okay. So now it is up to you. You want to see the complete route on the map, you can select complete route, or if you want to go one by one, you can do that also. So I'm selecting show complete route and it is going to take me to the default map that I have in my system. So because I'm using an Android phone, it is taking me to Google Maps. Okay. But if you're using iPhone, it is going to take you to Apple Maps. We also support Waze Map. Okay. So exact same route has been plotted over here and you can start navigating around it. Okay. So there's point A to B and if I, short link it, there's B to C over here that you can see, right? So here the route is exactly plotted the same way that I have in my system, right? Now let me go back to this and show you another cool feature that we have. Okay, so this was direction part. Now let's say I have visited point A. Okay, point A is my one of my clients. I have visited them and I want to add certain notes around it. And I want to add a check-in so that in the timeline section, I am able to see uh, like I have visited on which date, and if in the future I want to have a report, I can have a report also. So the third option that you see in the action button, the concentric circles, that is nothing but the check-in and checkout option. Okay, so here, this is the checkout form. You can fill in the details, like if you want to have certain notes that are critical to you, you can simply add those notes over here. If you want to add any files, okay, it could be your invoices, it could be a PNG, it could be a doc, okay. So you can add your files also on the go so that it is with your account. And then the checkout and check-in time is also noted. Okay, so this is critical because in the future, if you want to get a report, okay, of your salespeople, how many visits did they do in a month, okay, and how much time did they actually spent with the user or with the account rather than the traveling part. Okay, so this will be very much useful for you. And similarly, you can geofence your check-ins. Geofencing is nothing but, let's say, if I am present on the ground, only then I can create my check-ins. If I am not present on the same location, it is going to ask me for reason, okay, why I was not able to create the check-in. I can select my respective reason and click on create. What would happen is in the backend, it will go on the draft state wherein my manager can approve and disapprove based on the reasoning I have given. Okay, so you can have fixed check-in and you can have drafted check-ins also. Okay, so the valid and invalid ones. Yeah, so this is check-in and check-out, and the rest of the things are same, right? So if you want to create appointments, tasks, phone calls, mails, you can do it right from here, from this action button over here, right? Now let's say I have completed everything and anything, like I have done all my A, B, C, D, all the four, you can say, 4 visits. Now I have ample of time. I have 1 more hour to spare. Okay. And I might as well visit someone. So in that case, what I can do is I can go on this direction card and there is this option. Okay. And when I click on this option, the last option that you see is along the route. Okay. So since I have only 1 hour, I'm setting the radius as half a mile. Okay. So I want to see what all accounts are just present within my vicinity. Okay. So here I select the respective entity. Now it's not necessary that you're visiting accounts. So again, you will visit only accounts, right? You might want to visit contact or you might want to visit lead, right? So anything like that. So you can select the respective entity. You can select the respective view, okay, and click on go. So what would happen is my entire route would be traced. Okay. So you remember Staten Island had a lot of data, but what I am able to see is only very limited data that is present within half a mile of my radius. Okay. So these are all the points that are here, and I see that this is one point that I can visit, right? So this is one thing, P. Vincent. So this is one person that I can visit. It is very nearby. So what I can do is I can just simply call this person. There's this phone number. If I click on it, my phone dialer pad would appear. Sorry, my dialer pad would appear over here. And yeah, right. If the person has agreed to call to join me, I can simply add it to the route. Okay, so over here, add to the route. So the waypoint has been added. If I go on this direction card, I see that T Vincent is present over here. I click on go. So what would happen is a new waypoint has been added for me. Okay, and I can start navigating around. Okay, so this was one thing wherein you want to see what accounts are nearby and then add it. What if you have someone in mind, right? You are in the locality, you have someone in mind that you should visit. So instead of using along the route, you use the first option, that is add waypoint. Okay. So when I click on add waypoint, I can select the respective entity and then I can search from this record like A Techno or maybe, yeah. So one of my record is A Techno. I want to visit this particular person. So I simply click on this and click on add. Okay. So here it has been added. So A techno, as you can see, point E has been added. And if I click on go, it is going to add the A techno one also for me. Okay. Right. So this is how simple it is to navigate and increase your visit on the ground. Okay. Once everything is done, what you can do is you can simply save this. Okay. So when you're saving it, what happens is it is overriding the existing one because we know that we have done, few more extra stops. So why not to add them? Yeah. So you can add it to the existing one and click on save. So it will override the first one, right? So this is all about following the navigations. Okay. Now, let me stop sharing this part. Okay. Yeah. So let me just stop sharing and I am taking you through the next part of it, that is Canvas app. Okay. Again, I would be showcasing it on my mobile only, right? So just give me a second and let me switch to Canvas app. Now, if I have to give you an overview of Canvas app, what is it? So it is nothing but a minimum, people sometimes create a very minimalistic, app wherein you just have few things. You have, your some data that is plotted on the ground, and then, you just want to work around that. You don't want the entire CRM's functionality on it, right? So that is what Canvas app is. So let me just share my screen once again for the Canvas app and take you through that. Okay. So let me join. While I'm joining again, if you guys have any questions, just feel free to type it. Yes, screen. Okay. So I hope the screen is again visible. And again, we are going in our Power Apps. Okay. So this is nothing but our Power Apps app. And this time I am on the Canvas app. Okay. So it is the Azure app that you are able to see. Yes, I'm sorry, I took it back. So this is the Canvas app, Maplytics Canvas app that I have created. And yeah, like I said, it will have very minimalistic things, right? So it will have a one concentric circle because I have defined my radius that I want to see the accounts that are within my 50 miles or 5 miles radius, and just simply go ahead and navigate. Okay. So I can create my route on the go using this Canvas app. Okay. So here, these are all the records that I see. Okay, it is loading, so it is taking some time. Yeah. So now let's say I want to, I want to visit this one. So I can just simply click on it, and there is this fourth last option of add to route. Okay. So I can just simply go ahead and add them to the route. Similarly, I can just type in. So maybe, Basil machineries and greenscape, right? So I can simply type in the address or the accounts, and it will be visible over here for me that I can go ahead and visit to. Okay. So no, I think I have added it again. So let me reduce this and add some other things. So pyramid fisheries. Okay. So let me just add these three things. If you want to add any more stops, you can simply go ahead and go on adding it. And once it is done, you can simply click on go, right? So what this has done is this has created a route for me that I can simply go ahead and drive. Okay. So this is a very light version. Canvas apps are usually very light version when you just want similar some functionalities, very limited functionalities, not the entire plethora. So here, there is this driving direction, 14 minutes, 5 miles. I click on this navigate button, and again, it is going to take me to the default map that I have in my system to navigate, right? So this is how you can simply, this can be as simple as it can get to plot the data and to navigate around using Canvas app, right? So this was all about the phone. Okay, so let me just go back and stop sharing. Let me just go. So far what we have done is we have visualized our data, our internal data on the Azure map, our external data on the detail map. We were able to schedule uh, the routes. We were able to create schedules for multiple days for multiple people. We were able to see dynamics dashboard, and then how to navigate on the phone also, right? So these are the things that we were able to see. Now the last, but again one of the critical requirement is territory management, okay, which is very important to a lot of industries because these guys work around huge territories, and visualizing a territory gives you much more bigger perspective, right? So let me just share my screen again, uh, right, and go on this section of our demo. So cross this up again because this is a broader feature. So we will go on the detail map, and here there is this option of creating and managing territories. Okay, so first to visualize the territory, you have to create it. Okay, so to create territories, there are multiple ways to do it. There is by file, by proximity, by region, by drawing. So the same thing that I showed you on the map also, right? But the common one is by file, wherein I believe a lot of people already have their files in hand. So this is one of the files which has the postal codes of entire of New York, right? So I select the file over here and click on plot. Okay. So what will happen? The exact same shapes would be plotted on the map as well. Now we support all types of files. So it could be a shape file, it could be a CSV, GeoJSON, KML. Okay. So these are all the files that we support, right? So here I am able to see all the postal codes that were present in this file of mine. Now I can just simply select one by one, or I can select a range together like this and create a territory. Okay. So here you can name the territory however you please. So Staten Island, uh, South, maybe two. Okay. The geography. So these are all zip codes. So hence I'm selecting geography as zip code. Then there is this hierarchical territory also present. Okay, so when it comes to organizations, the territories are owned by multiple people, right? So there are directors, vice presidents, and these people don't hold postal codes under them, right? They hold the entire region. It could be entire of US or North US or maybe Canada, right? So and then there are managers or regional sales managers who hold states, and under them there are field reps who hold cities or maybe postal codes or something like that, right? So in that case, you can create hierarchical territories also, right? So let's say if I want to add this under New York, so I can simply add it under New York. So what would happen in the future if anybody visualizes New York, by default, this territory would appear. Okay. So this is how you create your parent-child relationship over here. Similarly, the last part is your managers. So you can have your managers over here listed. You can assign it to them, and this little button that says save draft territory. So in case you're not sure that you want to go ahead and create it, so you can save it as a draft one, and later you can proceed, just open it up, edit, and then create create your territories, right? So for now I'm just clicking on proceed and creating the territories. As soon as I click on it, you see that there's this pop-up that says that territory has been successfully created. Now, territory is created, but what about the records that are present? How do I associate them with the territory, right? So when I click on confirm, what would happen is all the records that are present in this piece of land will be associated with the territory. Okay. In case In case you don't want that, you have your separate territory assignment rule. So in the backend we handle that also. So in the configuration you can have your own assignment rules, like tier 1 should go to this person, tier 2 should go to this person, right? So if that is the case, you simply click on cancel and you have your assignment rule in the backend. Okay, so this was all about creating the territories, right? So now let me take you, after the creation of territories, let me take you to the visualization of the territory. Okay, so how do I visualize the territories once it is created? As a salesperson or as a manager, how do I do it? So for that, again, let me refresh this map and take you to the data filtration that we saw in the very first place. So this is the data filtration. There is this by location option, that is radius search. This was region search. This was drawing search. And the last option that you see is by territory. Okay. So you select your respective territory. I'm selecting, I have created certain free, territories for this particular demo. So there's Staten Island, North, South. Okay. I select the respective view that I have. So I'm selecting my active accounts, right? And click on search. So what would happen is my territories would be plotted. Okay. If I want to change the color, I can just simply go ahead and change the color also. So that it, okay, let's go for blue. Yeah. Okay. So yes. So these are the two territories that I see uh, are in place. Now, as a manager, what is happening is you know I can see that the alignment is not proper. Okay, there is this northern region and there is this southern region. The southern region is way too more for the manager, and whereas the northern regions are very short, like they have only 4 postal codes or maybe 5 at the most, but these are huge ones. So I want to realign. Okay, so in that case you can realign also your territories. Okay, so instead of 2 I want 3. Now how will this create these 3 alignments, right? Like how will this create 3 territories? What is the criteria of bifurcating? Okay, so the first criteria is simply by count. Okay, but the second criteria is by annual revenue. Okay, that I am selecting. You can have any criteria over here, any numerical criteria over here. It could be annual revenue or projected revenue or opportunities that are going to be presented. Okay, so any revenue bifurcation. So I'm selecting annual revenue over here. Okay, and clicking on proceed. So what this is going to do is this is going to bifurcate this in 3 different territories. So let me change the color once again, right? So here the 3 territories are being created. So you see this is the one that is territory 0, this is territory 2, and this is territory uh, 1. Okay. So now, like I said in the first example itself, though the land is very small, but the revenue that is it is generating is quite huge, right? Whereas this land is very long, but the revenue it is generating is very low. Yeah, so this is how what the system does is this bifurcates not only based on the region or the land, but also based on the criteria that you have selected. Okay, now still if you feel that we can add some more territory to the first one, so in that case you can just simply click on this and have the option of move to. Okay, and you can move this piece of land from the mid region to the north region. Okay, or if let me just unselect this one. Okay, or let's say this particular postal code, this is a very big one. Okay, so I want this to be shared between both of them. So in that case, instead of going for move to, I use the copy to option. And this becomes a shared territory or a overlapping territory that I have created. Okay, so this is how easy it is to align your territories, not only based on count, but also based on a numerical factor, so that the managers are not overburdened, or you can say your business is not uh, unaligned. It is properly aligned based on the factor that you have chosen. Okay. So this was territory management, visualizing and realigning. Okay. Now, this was a manager creating and recreating the territory so that it is well balanced. Now, I will take you through the second part of territory, wherein as a director, okay, as a director, I don't uh, I don't want to, see the records. There's nothing to do with the records. I just want to visualize my territories. Okay. And then I want to categorize my territories. So let me just visualize some of my territories that I've created. These are the territories. Okay. So yeah, yeah. So these are the territories. You can have views also around territories. If you guys have a view, you select that view. Otherwise, the territories are present. So you can select one by one also. Okay. So I want to visualize these territories irrespective of the record. I want to categorize this based on the business, like how much business are they given. Okay. So in that case over here, remember, we bifurcated our records based on industry, right? Similarly, right now what we are doing is we are bifurcating our territories based on the business type, right? So this is the entire territory, and I can see that my premium clients, that is the purple ones, are present over here, and then some part of this region, right? So I can ask my marketing team or my sales people to focus more on these regions and have different marketing strategies around it. Whereas with the small scales ones, I can ask my managers to work more on these regions to turn them at least green or pink, so that I can have a better revenue for the next year. So in terms of projection, in terms of understanding, and in terms of visualizing or categorizing your territory, it becomes much more simpler, right? So you are not associating it with the records, but you are rather associating it with the entire territory that you're having, right? So this can be as simple as it can get. You can have, I have taken business type, but you can have anything, so it could be any other attribute. It could be based on owners or anything, right? Based on managers. If you want to see the managers territory, you can check that. Okay. So any filter that you have, any criteria that you have, you are able to see that accordingly. Okay. So that brings us to the end of the webinar as a whole. Okay. So far what we have seen is, let me go to the, yeah. So what we have seen is the Azure Map control, visualizing the data, not only internal but also external. Then scheduling a route for multiple people, for multiple users. Okay. Then creating and managing the territories, route planning, optimization, how it looks on the mobile, right? So on and so forth. Then the Canvas app was also taken, and the analytical dashboard, right? So all these features are covered. And like I said, we are in the industry for over 15 years now. So we have ample and many other features also that I cannot display due to time constraint. But yeah, if you have anything in mind, if you guys have a very unique business, every business is very unique. So if you have any other requirements, what you can do is simply reach out to me. Okay, so my email is ranjana@inogic.com, or you can reach out to our CRM, that is the global one, that is crm@inogic.com. And we can have one-to-one session wherein I can give you personalized demo, and we can discuss personally on your business use case and how Maplytics can achieve it, right? So given that, there is this short poll that I am going to launch. Okay, so it would be great if you guys can go ahead and just tell me which was your favorite feature. Okay, so that we understand that these are the features that people are liking. Your feedbacks are really important. So I'll just give you a minute. Please go ahead and choose your favorite feature from today's display. Okay, so So we have got 4, 5, 6, 6 votes, 7 votes for now. I think we are 12 people, so it would be, guys, really great if you can, vote. Okay, so the votes are coming in. That is great. Let me go to the section. And the second part of it is Q&A, right? Question and answer. So again, let me stop sharing and see if we have any questions. Okay, so I think, yeah, the recording. So the recording is present and we will be sharing you personally. So, you can access it. I think apart from that, oh, yeah. Apart from that, there are no questions, but again, I'm giving you, we can have 1 or 2 minutes. If you guys have any quick questions, just simply type in and we will be happy to answer those. Okay, so yeah, I think no specific questions over here, but at any point of time, if you want to have a personalized session or if you want me to have a personal look on your business use case and have a customized demo, we can do that, right? So taking the discussion ahead, here is our, some of our success stories. So re-employability is one of our oldest client who has been through us, with us since the inception, and uh, they came up with a business challenge of planning and routing, and we have been able to solve it. And as an outcome, she herself mentioned in one of our interviews that around 6K a month is saved when you schedule it using Maplytics, right? So this is what the impact of Maplytics is. Apart from end users, we are also connected with our partners all around the globe. So these are some of our partners: Orbis, Hitachi, LLP, CRM, so on, and many, many more, right, who are constantly pitching our tool to the clients. We are also post-sale ready, so Microsoft also pitch, Maplytics from time to time based on the requirements of the client. And these are some common FAQs. So I'll just quickly pick one or two because I have already given you an overview or answer somewhere in my demonstration, right? The first question is important, that do you have to buy the Bing Map licenses? No, you don't have to buy their licenses. We ship it along with our solution, right? The availability. So we support CRM Dynamics 365 CRM as well as Dataverse, and we are present online as well as on premise. Okay. And as a next step, you can simply go ahead and explore Maplytics. We are available on App Source. So you can just download the solution. You can have 15 days trial in case you need any assistance with configuration, with achieving your use case, simply having a demonstration. So just feel free to reach out to us, right? This is the email ID that we have, crm@inogic, and I will be available for you to to take you through the demonstration. So this brings us to the end of the webinar. Thank you so much, guys. Thanks for joining in. It was pleasure presenting, and thank you for sticking through. Yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys.